What's up guys, it's Ash here and welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video guys, we do have some custom tactics and player instructions for the 4-2-3-1. One of the best formations every year, really enjoy using it. Probably is my personal favorite throughout the years just because of how consistent it is. Just before we get into today's video though guys, I would just like to apologize if some of the videos have been a little bit lackluster or whatever. I know some people are requesting gameplay, which I will get around to putting into my videos, I promise, but things have just been a little bit hectic at home for me at the moment, you know, with my mum. Some of you all know she's not very well, so I have to look after her at times. I've recently just switched antidepressants too, so I hope you guys can understand, you know, some of these things, and that's why videos might not have been as great as they could be. I'll hold my hands up and admit that, so I do apologize, but things will be better very soon. So I hope you guys will stick around, and I hope you will enjoy the improved content that's coming up. But yeah, let's get right into today's video guys. Sorry about that. I will leave a chapter thing so you can skip this part of the video if you're really not interested. If you want some coins for the new level up promo, make sure you check out MMOXP.com. Their link is down in the description. They're very fast, they're very cheap, they're very reliable, and if you use my code Rema, you can get yourself a nice 5% extra discount. Okay then guys, so starting off with the custom tactics, for the defensive style, I like to have this on balance. The reason we have this on balanced is because it does give us the best control over our defenders. So when we want to press our opponent, we are able to do so, and then when we want to drop back, be a little bit more passive, we can also do that. So it does give us the best control, which is super important when you are defending, because a good player will pick apart somebody that is constantly pressing all the time. So you want to know when and where to press. Moving on to the width guys, I have this on 39. Might be triggering some of you that I don't have it on 40, but I have it on 39 because we want a nice narrow compact defense, which will stop our opponent being able to just run right through the middle of us. It's really important not to leave too many gaps. We want our team to be nice and compact. The reason we don't have the width even lower though is because it's still important to maintain some of the natural width of the formation to cover the wide areas in case an opponent tries an attack down the wing. Now moving on to the depth guys, I have this on 65. This is because I've been really enjoying winning the ball higher up the pitch and just creating lots of chances. When you have the depth really low, you're often gonna get pinned back in your own box, and it's not a fun time because you're constantly just defending for your life, which isn't great. So I like to have it on 65 because we can win the ball higher up the pitch, and our defensive line isn't always super deep. That being said, I don't like going crazy high though, because it gets to the point where a single through ball absolutely rips you to shreds. Moving on to build-up play guys, I have this on balance. This is because it's like the defensive style balance. It's just the most consistent and the most varied. When you have the build-up play on balance, you can pick and choose when and where you use each of the different types of build-up. For example, slow build-up, you can decide to play a little bit slower. Fast build-up, you can decide to play a little bit quicker. With balance, you can really pick and choose when and where you use each form of build-up. Because for example, if you're using slow build-up, you can't randomly just decide to speed up. The same way if you use fast build-up, you can't randomly decide to slow down. So balance is just the most consistent and varied in my opinion. Moving on to chance creation guys, an absolute must in my opinion is direct passing. This because it's the most meta option. Basically your attacking players will bunch up against the opponent's defenders. Basically it makes it very easy to create chances because you can do the very overpowered 1v1 plays. Players also make those extra movements in the box so you can get off the extra pass to guarantee those goals. For the attacking width guys, we have this on 48. This is because we don't want to make the attack crazy wide as it is a more narrow formation, but on the flip side we also don't want to make it too narrow either, so we kind of just like to go for something like 48. For players in box, we have this on 3. This is so we can get a few players into the box to finish chances, but we don't overcommit everybody. And corners and free kicks, we have these on 1 because of a set piece routine that I use, which requires these to be on 1. Link to that in the top right hand corner of the screen. Now for the player instructions guys, on the striker we have him on stay central and get in behind. We have him on stay central because we don't want him drifting off into those wider areas. He is our striker, so it is important that he does maintain those central positions. That is where he is going to be of most use to us. Now when I'm playing against the majority of people, I'll also have him on getting behind. This is because he's always making those runs in behind to get the most chances possible. But if you're playing against somebody that is very good, it might be worth switching this to mixed attack, because getting behind can be very predictable for top tier opponents, as the runs in behind are super easy easy to predict and counter as a result. So mixed attack just gives you more versatile movements against those top end opponents, in my opinion. Moving on to the cam, guys, we just have him on stay forward. This is so we've got like a second option if we win the ball back, because usually if we have him on basic defensive support, it'll only really be the striker up the top of the pitch, the only outlet when we get the ball back. But if we put the cam on stay forward, we have another outlet, which makes it a bit easier to get out when we win the ball back in defense. But everything else, though, we just leave alone on the cam, as we don't want to restrict him all that much. Now moving on to the right cam, the ram, the lamb. Let me just start again. Moving on to the left attacking mid and the right attacking mid, the lamb or the ram, that's what I was trying to say. We have them on comeback on defense and get into the box for cross. The reason we have them on comeback on defense is because it will make them take up a better defensive position when we don't have the ball. If you leave them on basic defensive support, these players can be very lazy and not really do much of a job when we are defending, which is not great because we want everybody to be doing a job. So we put them on comeback on defense, so it makes it like a 4-man midfield, which means we can defend the narrow areas and the wide areas very well, and comeback on defense just puts these players in the correct positions. We also have them on get into the box across, so they're not hesitant to get into the penalty area when we do create chances. Otherwise they can be very hesitant on balanced crossing runs. But yeah, right cam and left cam, comeback on defense, get into the box across. Moving on to the left CDM, guys, for my more defensive minded midfielder, we have him on stay back while attacking, cut passing lanes and cover centre. We have him on stay back while attacking because, like I said, this player is my more defensive CDM. If you can, it's best to get like a balance between the two, where you have like one more defensive player and then a box to box next to him. But on my more defensive player, we have him on stay back, so he's always defending. Cut passing lanes means he will always look to break up the play and intercept those passes, and cover centre means he will defend those central areas. For the right CDM, my more box-to-box style player, we have him on the default settings, and then we have him on cover center. We have him on the default settings because, like I said, this player is my more box-to-box style player, so we don't want to restrict him all that much. We kind of want to let him do his own thing. The only important thing is that we have him on cover center, so he does defend those central areas. Moving on to the left back, guys, my more attacking fullback, we have him on balanced attack and overlap. Now the reason we do this is because the 4-2-3-1, although it's one of the wider narrow formations, is still quite a narrow formation, so it's useful to have a wider option if possible. So by putting this player on balanced overlap, he will choose to go forward when it suits him, and then he'll make the overlapping run type to make extra to create extra width for us, basically. So we have players in narrow positions and wide positions on the attack. For my more defensive fullback, we have him on stay back and overlap. We have him on stay back, so we've always got at least 3 defenders back at a time, but we have him on the overlap run type, so when we do send him on a run forward, he'll make the overlapping runs to add extra width. As for the centre backs and the keeper, guys, these are on the default settings and I do not touch them. But yeah, they're my custom tactics player instructions for the 4-2-3-1. If you have enjoyed, please be sure to drop this a like, sub to the channel if you are new, and don't forget to turn on notifications. And with all that aside, guys, hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.